Kyle Larson continued to point out the obvious with NASCAR's championship format, noting that in the championship race, even if you make the Final Four, nobody was going to beat the Penske cars at Phoenix. His comments come following the NASCAR Cup Series race at Atlanta. He spoke with Larry McReynolds on Sirius XM NASCAR Radio, and Reynolds asked him about what he and his crew chief Cliff Daniels discussed on how they could have done better during the NASCAR playoffs that saw the team come up short, advancing to the championship four. And this is what Larson had to say. Even if you make the Final Four, nobody was going to beat the Penske cars at Phoenix. I'm confident that we can make the Final Four every year we race the car. I know we didn't make it last year, but we had some just unfortunate luck in the round of 8 or whatever. But still, even if I make the Final Four, I'm going to finish 4th in points. For me and for really all of Hendrick Motorsports, and I'm sure every team besides Penske, and probably even Penske, is like, all right, how do we get better at Phoenix? That's kind of where my mindset is at. He then added, like I said, I'm confident that we can get to that race, but once you're in that race, are you going to be good enough to win? We're putting a lot of emphasis on it. I'm excited to go there next week and see if we're any better. It sounds like our setup will be a little different, and so far it looks pretty good, I guess, in the simulator. So yeah, we'll see. So Kyle Larson obviously noting that if you're going to make it to the Final Four and there's a Penske car in that Final Four, you're unlikely to win, and that has been the case over the last 3 years, right? We saw Joey Logano win, then we saw Ryan Blaney in 2023, and then last year, both Logano and Blaney were in it, and where did they finish? They finished 1-2, with Logano winning, Blaney finishing hot on his heels in second place. No one had anything for them. Obviously, you can point to 2023 that did see Ross Chastain actually win that race, but he was not in the Final Four. Blaney finished second and ended up winning. So it is possible to beat the Penske cars at Phoenix. Ross Chastain did it in 2023, but they were very, very dominant there last year and pretty much had the entire field smoked. No one really had anything for them. But this isn't out of the ordinary for Larson. He made similar comments at the end of January. So about a month ago, he was asked by Bob Pockrass if he would be good with winning 6 races every year, but not winning a championship. And he said, if I didn't have a championship already, I would say, no, I wouldn't be good with that. But I think having a championship already allowed me to get over it more so this past season. He then commented on the format, saying the format's really difficult, and when it comes down to just one race at the end, you know there's an opportunity that can happen. I think we can win 20 races in a year and still not win the championship, and I wouldn't be surprised just because the Penske cars are just so dominant at Phoenix. If nothing changes anytime a Penske car makes the Final Four at Phoenix, they're going to have the best opportunity to win currently, and I think that is still accurate. They are going to have the best opportunity to win. Remember, I even think Ryan Blaney had the better car over Ross Chastain. Ross Chastain just did an absolutely excellent job of blocking Blaney there, keeping him behind him and pulling off that win. That was a clinic on how to aero block Ryan Blaney and just aero block in general. Did a really good job despite Blaney having the superior car. But yeah, I think that the format does need to be changed. I think this idea that you're just racing at one race and you can just get really good there once you get to that Final Four, and if you have the best car there, you're pretty much locked. I think that takes away a lot of what it means to be a champion, and Larson even kind of comments on that. He says he'd rather have the wins than the actual championship at this point. And when you have one of your best talents saying that, I think there is something wrong with the format, something that they need to change. I hate the winner-take-all thing in general. I think they need to go back to kind of a chase format, and I would love to see them kind of mix up the track so it's not the same every year. Now, I get the scheduling and all of that stuff, and the tracks want that stuff, and there's all kinds of things that go into that, but from a fan perspective, I'd love to see them mix it up a little bit more. Obviously, if they do go to a chase format, which they obviously are not doing this year, but if they do, you'd want to see a variety of different tracks, right? You want the short track, you want the road course, you want the super speedway, you want the 1.5 miles, you want all kinds of different tracks, so you're actually having a champion who is a master at all of them, a team and a driver that are a master at all of them, and a true champion of the sport. I really think that's what they need to go back to if they want to continue with this, what they call playoff style format, which they seem to indicate they will have no intention of ever moving away from and going back to kind of that Winston Cup format where it was a season-long championship. But I think those are my suggestions. That's what I think. I think that works the best. I think that's kind of what Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series did last year after they had that winner-take-all format. They went to a chase playoff format, and I think that just works a little bit better there, where you have to kind of be good at multiple different tracks rather than just the one after you've made it into that Final Four. But what do you guys make of what Kyle Larson had to say, his recent comments here about the NASCAR playoff and championship format? Let me know in the comments below.